Hi, I'm Natalie. I'm the Talent Acquisition Lead at Perkbox. As we begin to take small steps towards normality, many businesses are looking forwards to trying to hire new talent. That's certainly the case for us here at Perkbox. It's more important than ever to refine your talent attraction strategy and make yourself an appealing place to work. It's also key to hire the right people, and the last thing you want to be doing is putting time and effort and money into recruiting someone for them to leave shortly afterwards. Here are some things that I always try to keep in mind when hiring to make sure that we attract the right talent. Firstly, ask the difficult questions up front. It might sound really obvious, but the starting point of any candidate search is to know exactly what you're looking for. In times of high demand, talent functions often get a load of vacancies thrown at them by various parts of the business. As tempting as it can be to just jump on the recruitment treadmill straight away, it's worth taking the time to speak to the hiring manager and pick the brief apart. Ask more details about their needs. Some examples could be, what does this person actually need to achieve to be successful in this role? What are the essential competencies to be able to do that? What competencies from this list are nice to have? And what are the skill gaps in the current team already? Split your competencies into hard and soft skills and be realistic about what's absolutely essential and what's a coachable or a nice to have. Before you go out to the market, you also need to understand the environment this role sits in. The mission of the team and the wider business needs to be clear, and everyone needs to be consistent in the reason why this person is being hired. Asking the question now avoids confusion further down the line and keeps messaging consistent. Sell yourself with authenticity. Once you've taken a deep dive into the role requirements, it's time to put together a job advert. Notice I use the word job advert and not job description. This is a really important point because a big emphasis has to be on selling yourself as a place of work. We're in a candidate-driven market and companies are competing for exceptional people to join their teams. So your job advert can't just be a list of requirements and demands. You need to work harder to entice people. You need to tell them why they should work for you, how they can learn and grow, and what the culture is like. Honesty goes a long way here, so you don't need to pretend that you have everything figured out and a perfect fit for everyone. By all means, show off all the positive aspects of working for you, but never be tempted to blag or oversell. The best people don't want to walk into an easy job. They want to feel like they're able to stretch themselves and play a really meaningful part in your company's journey. This is as important as any of the roles and responsibilities that you'll list in the job advert. It's about telling your story so far and then painting a picture of how they can help continue that story. Watch your words. Using normal language is also really important. Sometimes we use complicated language in job adverts we would never usually say in our day-to-day, and it makes it harder for people to really understand what it is you're looking for and what the job entails. It can make normal tasks sound really intimidating and confusing, and there's just no need for it, so keep things simple. It's also really important to use inclusive language. If you don't pay attention to this, you could lose a lot of good candidates at this early stage. It's worth getting other people to read your job advert with a fresh pair of eyes, and there are websites that can help you with inclusivity as well. Cater to the modern employee. We are all aware that there's an increasing focus on work-life balance and well-being. Many candidates I speak to have this at the top of their wish list, even higher than salary on some occasions. Be upfront about the balance that they can expect and be clear about your well-being offering. Do you offer flexible hours and the ability for people to work around things like the school run? Is there access to tools like an EAP helpline, counselling, or gym and yoga classes? What's your remote working policy like? Emphasise these in the job advert or on your career pages and make sure it's coming up in the initial chats that you have with candidates. There's no need to add any mystery. If the information isn't easy to find, the best people won't apply. Be thorough with the interview process. Once you've got good applicants, start the interview process immediately. In this market, you can't afford lengthy time to hire. However, this doesn't mean compromising on quality. At Perkbox, we don't work in isolation, so it's important to get the perspective of people outside of the potential candidate's hiring team. If the person you're hiring will regularly interact with other stakeholders, you should definitely include them in the process. And this helps you get a diverse range of views on the interview panel. Tasks are a really common feature of our interview process, as they allow people to show us their ability and flair. They shouldn't be super time consuming. For most roles, tasks should take a maximum of 2 hours. A big part of the interview process is gauging what people call cultural fit, although this is a bit of an outdated term. While you want someone who will fit into your way of working, you also want a diverse workforce where everyone is comfortable bringing their whole selves to work. Avoid using gut feel to make decisions, as this leads to bias, and we're naturally inclined to prefer people who are similar to us, who we can imagine us having a drink with at the pub, for example. This will just lead you to working in an echo chamber and not benefiting from diversity. A good tip is to prepare some behavioural questions that are focused around your company values. That way you can ensure that you hire someone who resonates with your ethos without letting bias get in the way. For example, one of our values is curiosity at Perkbox. A question relating to this could be, tell me about a time you went out of your way to learn something new at work. You should also make a point of openly talking through some of the reasons why you think someone should or shouldn't be hired. Whilst one person will normally have the final say, talking it through allows everyone to see things from a different perspective, and you can be sure that it's the right decision. A key takeaway: finding the right talent has always been a key priority for businesses. By planning properly, getting the right message across, and being open with candidates, you can give yourself a really great chance.